Welcome to the Selling Your Screenplay YouTube channel. I'm Ashley Scott Myers, screenwriter and blogger over at sellingyourscreenplay.com. In this quick video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find producers and directors who are looking for screenplays. This video is part one in a three-part series. In part two, I'm going to show you how to automate a lot of what I'm going to be showing you to do in this video. In part three, I'm going to show you my streamlined process for actually sending out query letters extremely quickly. If you need help writing your query letter, go grab my free guide, How to Sell Your Screenplay in 5 Weeks. The lesson in week 2 is all about how to write a professional query letter. The guide is completely free. You just put in your email address and I'll send you a new lesson for the next 5 weeks. Just go to sellingyourscreenplay.com/guide. Okay, so let's begin. The easiest and cheapest way to find producers and directors who are looking for screenplays is on Craigslist. On every city page for Craigslist, there is a writing jobs and a writing gigs section. You can find them right here. Here's a writing jobs section, and at the bottom down here, this is the writing gigs section. In both of these sections, you might potentially find some producers and directors looking for screenplays. Every city that Craigslist has will have their own section for this. So let's just take a look at this in the jobs section. What you want to do is just go here. Now you'll notice there's a ton of potential jobs to search through. So I like to just do some basic filtering. Type in screenplay, do a search, and then you start to see some ads come up. These are not necessarily what you'd be looking for, but I usually search for screenplay and then also for script, just to see if anything different comes up. And in this case, something does. So we have one here, buying funny scripts. Buying funny scripts. You can look through this ad, but you know, it looks like they're looking for short comedy scripts, 1 to 3 pages, hilarious, $200 to $500. So they actually have a budget. So this is a pretty good lead if you're looking. If you have some short scripts that are comedies, this is a pretty solid lead. They got an email address here up here, so you just respond to that. But you can go through these and just start looking at them. The one thing, at least in the bigger cities like New York and Los Angeles, in order to place an ad in the jobs section, you actually have to pay a fee. So in general, when you see a listing in the writing and editing jobs section, that's a much better lead than if it's in the writing gig section, because the writing gig section is actually free, even in the big cities like Los Angeles and New York. However, they have to pay. So if they've spent the money to pay the $25 to post in the job section, it usually means they're a little more serious. So we just do the same thing. Go to the writing gigs, do the same searches. Screenplay, see what comes up. So looks like, again, accepting short script submissions, you know, compensation to be determined. Again, a lot of people looking for shorts. You will see some people looking for feature films in these. You just got to keep going through them every day. I would start with whatever city is closest to you and then just branch out to the closest major cities. Obviously, you're going to find the most ads in Los Angeles and New York, probably being a distant second. You really don't need to live in the city where the producer is, so make sure you keep a close eye on LA and the New York City section. In my episode 4 of my podcast, I actually talk about getting shorts produced in some depth, so check that out if you have a chance. There are a ton of other places these days where you can find leads, but one of the free places that I found is ISA, and that's International Screenwriters Association, and their website is networkisa.org. And you just go to their website, and right here they have a writing gig section. And they have quite a few listed. They have a paid membership, and you get access to the leads early if you are a paid member. So these ones that are kind of redded out, those you can have access to for paying. But they do eventually give you access to all of them, and they have quite a few here. You know, here's a super low budget indie feature, but it's a feature nonetheless. You do need to be a member to submit to it. So you just find the writing gigs. You go through them, read them, click on them, and then they have a submit button. As I said, they do make you register, but registering is free, and you can actually post a bunch of your scripts, and then you just submit to the gig by going through their interface. A couple of quick notes. Obviously, these are pretty low-end leads, but they can work. I've actually optioned some scripts through Craigslist. I talked with a writer a couple of weeks ago who had found a decent deal through this too. So it can happen. For the most part, the people I've met through Craigslist are pretty early on in their careers, but getting stuff produced and getting credits yourself is what this is all about. So definitely don't expect to sell your script for a ton of money, but you will potentially get some credits. You do want to make sure your screenplay is protected, so make sure you register with the WGA and the Library of Congress before you send it to anyone. I did a video on how to do that, so check that out if you have any questions. Persistency and consistency are how this race is won. You're going to be submitting a lot of query letters, and in most cases you will never hear anything back one way or another. So don't get discouraged, just keep submitting. As I mentioned, in part 2 and 3 of this video series, I'm going to show you how to automate a good portion of this process. That way you'll be able to find these leads and submit them very quickly. That's going to be key because, again, you're going to need to send out a ton of query letters to make this work. All the links that I mentioned in this video will be posted with the show notes on my blog, and I'll link to the blog post right from the YouTube video so you can find them.